Breaking news now. Iranian nuclear efforts must be stopped and reversed, according to the G7. On Friday, the 7-member nations of the Group of 7 pushed Iran to stop and reverse its nuclear escalations and end its ongoing uranium enrichment programs, which they said had no legitimate civilian purpose. A draft communiqué claimed that the leaders were prepared to implement further sanctions against Iran in the event that the Islamic Republic transferred ballistic missiles to Russia. Reuters added that the statement urged Tehran to end its nuclear escalations and halt its uranium enrichment programs, stating that there are no legitimate civilian explanations for them. At the two-day summit that began on Thursday at the southern Italian luxury resort of Borgo Egnazia, the Middle East has been a prominent topic of conversation. Not only have leaders stepped up their support for Ukraine, but they have also voiced their disapproval of the escalating situation on the border between Israel and Lebanon and praised U.S. President Joe Biden's offer to end the fighting in Gaza. The United States, United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan make up the G7. Speaking on Friday afternoon will be Pope Francis and a number of South American politicians on the topic of artificial intelligence. We anticipate issuing a final communiqué on Friday night. The G7 leaders' worries about Iran follow a report from the IAEA the previous day that Tehran is increasing its nuclear capabilities. Last Monday, the Board of Governors of the IAEA approved a resolution denouncing Tehran for not cooperating with the UN nuclear inspector. Tehran notified the IAEA that it was planning to install additional cascades at its enrichment sites in Natanz and Fordow. The organization informed its members the cascade is a network of centrifuges that work together to enrich uranium. Moderate was the assessment of a diplomatic source regarding this development. Iran has been successfully enriching uranium in those cascades to a purity level of 2% thus far. Already, it enriches uranium up to 60%, which is just a little technological step below the 90% required for weapons grade. The Iranian capital would not immediately confirm the ruling. Nevertheless, this follows Iran's threats to respond to a vote by the IAEA Board of Governors that censured the nation for its lack of complete cooperation with the agency earlier this month. United States State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller was quick to criticize the decision. Iran intends to augment its nuclear program in ways that lack a convincing peaceful objective, Mr. Miller stated. These upcoming events will cast doubt on Iran's denials of any wrongdoing. There will be repercussions for Iran if they carry out these intentions. Mr. Miller remained mum on potential actions taken by the United States and its allies. Still, Washington and other nations' economic sanctions on Iran have been a severe setback for the country's economy and have contributed to the recent collapse of the rial currency. The Islamic Republic has been slowly abandoning its obligations under the 2015 nuclear accord it made with international powers. Following Trump's 2018 unilateral withdrawal, the historic agreement that had promised Iran sanctions relief in return for limits on its nuclear program collapsed. There have been no successful attempts to resurrect the contract.